guys. Hey guys, and welcome back to a new Accumulation Zone trade recap. Today is the 15th of November. It's a Tuesday, it's the second day of the week. And today I'm going to be recapping the trades from today on USD Japanese yen and the E-mini futures contract on the S&P 500. So let's get started. When I woke up, I saw this price action during the Asian kill zone here from 8 p.m. New York local time until midnight, those 4 hours. And after midnight, we consolidated right around the VWAP. You can use trend lines and stuff like that. For example, maybe like this. But I don't really like to use trend lines too much, at least for my entries. I was watching the Scalper Pro, what the Scalper Pro was doing here. We had a little fake out, but this shouldn't matter because we did not break out on the chart as well. So we're looking for double confirmations. We had a bearish divergence here, and afterwards we had a little fake out here to the top, but we're still in the Asian kill zone. I don't really trade the Asian kill zone, so we could assume that they already trapped traders into a long position above this level. So let's make this orange. So they trapped volume here already. That's why we did not have to trap liquidity basically after the Asian kill zone base, so like for example in a video yesterday. So we had this tight consolidation range, the Scalper Pro confirmed it, and right here at 2:15, so the second or after the first 15-minute candle closed on US dollar Japanese yen, we had this beautiful breakouts being confirmed by the Scalper Pro, and we took it short, or I took it short. I placed a stop loss on the VWAP, roughly 29 pips here on USD JPY. Let's zoom in a little. And I was aware that this could also be a fake out since we haven't trapped traders long above this Asian session high. But I tried it and it played out nicely, very nicely. I added some size to the trade with the next candle because that thing was dropping, and it hit a beautiful 2-to-1 risk reward ratio within 5, 10, 15 minutes. Very nice trade. Afterwards, we started to pull back a little, and I entered short into a small position here, but then it ran a little bit into profit, but I got stopped out at break even. Then I pulled up the stochastic RSI, and I used the stochastic RSI VWAP strategy. So we are below the VWAP. We've got a bearish stochastic RSI crossover right on this candle. Scalper Pro is bearish as well. So, but what I've done here is I saw this fair value gap based on smart money concepts, and I saw that those candles, they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller all the way up here, and right in here they're being rejected. So right around after I saw this candle closing with all the selling pressure coming from the top, I entered on the open of the next following candle, and then yeah, we pretty much dropped very quickly. After this candle closed, I also added some more size to the trade after the stochastic RSI crossover. I took some profits right around here after we broke structure, making a new lower low. And afterwards I moved my stop loss to break even, which was right up here. We got close to it, but I did not get stopped out. My initial stop loss was right here above this candle, because if it's breaking above this level, I'm not interested in this short anymore. I'd rather be looking for a new opportunity to take the swing short. And then I just decided to let it run because we still had Monday's low basically right here and Friday's low to be taken out. We filled in this gap here on Monday directly, even on Sunday according to New York local time, but it did not play out, or I'd like to see it drop below Friday's low basically. We haven't been taking out Friday's low, so I decided to just let 10% on the table. I closed 90% at roughly 5-to-1 risk to reward. Then I decided to just let it run, and it was a very good decision because at 8:30 we got the PPI news from America, and the dollar index dropped therefore, and because of correlation the US dollar Japanese yen pair dropped dramatically as well basically. I think we dropped almost, I don't know how many pips that is, but that is a 200 pip drop, it looked like it. Hang on, let me use the measure tool. Yeah, that's a 170 pip drop. So that's quite significant. I closed it somewhere around here after this 5-minute candle close, and I was really happy about it. And you see how they trapped short traders here? People have been jumping because it's 8:30 news and this thing is dropping within, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes. Most of the time your spreads are super high right during that time and your position doesn't get filled. And it most often gets filled all the way down here. That's where most of the traders, retail traders, jump in short because they see this massive candle and they want to see this thing continue for another 200 pips. That's at least what they believe. And now people or retail traders are massively short. The smart money traders take the other side of their position, so they take it long, and they made all those 170 pips back and even went back above this level. So a very beautiful reversal opportunity here on the Scalper Pro as well. We got our reversal entry right around this candle. I would have waited maybe for the next candle that we at least get back above Friday's low right here. So a very nice setup. On E-mini S&P 500 we had a different situation because we had I'd say a bigger Asian range. So we've basically, its vast majority has been a trending market here during the Asian kill zone, and afterwards we started to consolidate, and right after midnight volume started to pick up and they broke the Asian session high right here, right at 3985 at this price level. Then they consolidated it around this high and around the VWAP, breaking above this high again, retesting this high with a pin hammer basically, and right prior to London, 15 minutes ahead of the London session or the London kill zone at 2 a.m, they broke it to the upside again. And I wanted to trade with the trend. I entered I think 0.5% risk of my whole account balance on this trade. Placed my stop loss right on the VWAP, or basically the Asian session high. And I let it run for a 2-to-1 risk reward because most of the time the momentum is really picking up at 2 a.m. We did not cross bearish yet, that's why I considered it a valid setup. And we also broke out on the Scalper Pro, I think on this candle already, and then we retested the line right on this little doji that we formed, indecision, and we continued with the trend. Even if you would have been late to the party, I think right on this candle I wouldn't have entered because we're getting really close for those two lines, the K and the D line on the stochastic RSI, to cross over. But even if you would have let it run, you very likely wouldn't have been stopped out. Maybe your spreads, and that's the only thing you really have to watch here, that your spreads are very tight. So that's why I recommend the 8-cap raw account. Very nice spreads, and they allow me to trade 5-minute charts like this and making good profits with a 2-to-1 without too high spreads that basically ruin your whole profit ratio here. So afterwards we broke out, continued further to the upside, and I waited as every day for my typical stochastic RSI crossover, Scalper Pro bullish setup above the VWAP. And after, so London opened up right here, and I did not see as much movement as expected. We tested the low here again, basically right around here, this accumulation phase here, dipped right into it, and I saw all those indecision candles, and they didn't look like that this thing is going to continue to drop because buyers stepped into the market and bought price back up right here, followed by this massive bullish candle engulfing all those bearish candles right here with a stochastic RSI crossover, and the Scalper Pro turned green on the same candle. We're above the VWAP, so I saw the entry potential, I took the trade, and I placed the stop loss somewhere around this level. I didn't want to give it too much room because if it's just dropping, I'm rather out of the trade. Then yeah, so it was, stop loss was well placed. I could have placed it here, but I think like because the London Open wasn't as significant, I didn't expect a very big move, so I tried to keep my stop loss small right here, basically on the low of this entry candle, that I can target a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. So my target doesn't have to be all the way up here, which is pretty unrealistic within the London session kill zone. So I was looking for a 2-to-1 risk reward. We got close to it. I think we reached a 1-to-1 risk reward, and then we got a bearish stochastic RSI crossover, but I wasn't too worried because we still have the support around the VWAP. So we consolidated again, and the VWAP, the stochastic RSI cooled off again, and then we got this bullish crossover with a bullish engulfing candle and the Scalper Pro turning bullish as well. So I open a second position. We are still within our London kill zone from 2 AM New York local time until 5 AM New York local time. Broke out, had a inside bar and continued this move, engulfing this last bearish candle. Very beautiful. And then we continued to run. This one hit a total, I think I closed it also at 2-to-1 risk reward. We broke this high and both of my trades hit take profit, and was a very beautiful day for scalping. And afterwards we curved back to the VWAP, held some support. We had a nice 3-bar setup here. Stochastic RSI crossing over bullish again. And on this candle, a little bit, you would have been a little bit late to the party, but I'm not interested anyway in taking any trades outside this range. Basically retested this bullish order block. But what I was interested afterwards again was to trade the PPI news. Not really because I like the volatility there, but because I got the setup. So we've been at the high of the day. We have our previous high of the day sitting right here. And my bias or my idea was that we are going to break Friday's high basically. Monday's high, yeah, that's Monday's high, and continue the rally to the upside. Because the USD JPY chart looked like it's gonna drop. Same for the dollar index, and when the dollar index is dropping, inverted correlation with the E-mini S&P 500 futures contract, gold, GBP USD, and other different pairs. They all have a correlation with the US dollar. I wanted to see this thing go long basically, and what I decided to do is I'm only risking 0.25% on this trade because I expected it to be a very explosive move, and because I wanted just to secure my profits here. Even if I'm losing 0.25% of my account size on this trade, I wouldn't be too worried. Very simple. So we got this massive break to the upside. I entered on it because we had a stochastic RSI crossover, and the Scalper Pro was bullish at that time. I think it was, yeah, it was also breaking out, so it was pretty clear to me. Right here at 805, we curved back. I gave it enough stop loss. I think I gave it up to 40 point stop loss here. So enough room of 40 ticks, basically a 10-point stop loss here on a futures contract. And I was just targeting a simple 2-to-1 right above the previous daily high. And I guess news trading doesn't have a lot to do with skill. Most of the time it's just luck if you're on the right side of the ship and what your bias is. And my idea was that I want to see this previous daily high tagged and being taken out. Worked out very well. And now we are just basically, we had this massive move to the upside. And right now, some trendline traders would say we are forming a massive bull flag, looking somewhat like this. Not really good at making bull flags look alive. But what I would be looking at is that we are basically filling in a very big volume inefficiency here. From this candle low to this candle right here. We've already filled it in by 100%. And if we, for example, use the volume profile, we could see that from here to here, basically no volume was being, or no major transaction have been processed right in here. So there's basically a huge volume gap right here, this news candle, and most of the volume got into the market here. That's most of the time when, for example, you see the news candle and you're not positioned prior to the news candle, and you enter and you hit enter by the market with a market order, you're being thrown in somewhere up here. And yeah, I mean, of course, you could have made, I think, a few points, but I mean, you maybe saw it just break the previous daily high and then you entered long into the market, and because the spreads are terrible at news events, right at 8:30 New York local time, you've been thrown in somewhere right around here. Now we've filled in this whole inefficiency, so we either are going to continue further up, but it's going to be a thing, I think, either for the PM session in America or for London tomorrow. We will see what happens. Now we made a new higher high, and if we check higher time frames, we see that we're in a old volume imbalance, also from a news event, and those imbalances or volume inefficiencies always get filled. Yeah, that was a very good trading day for me. I'm very happy with the results for today. This was a setup yesterday because yesterday we had a range day within Friday's high and low of the day. We continued to consolidate because we didn't have major news ahead or news very late during the day. And if I'm saying trapping traders long into the market, this is exactly what I mean. They trap breakout traders long into the market just to basically take the other side of their positions. So they are massively long, they are going massively short, and they took out the current daily low right here that we formed during the New York kill zone, with all those traders either in drawdown or they already have been liquidated, whatever happened. But the banks and the institutions, they made big money on this massive sharp drop to the downside. But for some reason during the day today, we recovered pretty well even during the Asian session, the London kill zone, and then during New York with the PPI news. Yeah, that is it for my analysis today. I'm gonna be recording a video now how you can use TradingView for proper risk management here with, for example, paper trading. If you just wanna test your skills a little bit and you don't wanna use real money on your account, you can definitely do that. And yeah, I will see you in the next video about how to do proper risk management on TradingView and MetaTrader. Take care, guys, and safe trading.